In order to finish my fading landscape, I first have to pull up the last picture I made. So I'm going to go up here to this file that looks like a paper is coming out of it. When I click on it, I can see all the pictures that I've created before. So if you don't see something that looks like this, you might just have it set up a little bit differently. If yours is just words, then you're going to want to come over here to this little upside down triangle. You may want to choose large icons or extra large icons so you can actually see the pictures you've created. Once you click on it, you can see the different pictures you've made and try to pull up the one that you've already made. So I don't believe I've seen it yet. Oh, and there it is. So this is the one that I started, and I'm going to open it and add it as image. And from here, I can just continue with my pictures. So in order to finish with this, I first want to find the color that I've already used here. So I could right click on it so that this color becomes the same shade as what I had before. Or I can use this little eyedropper, click, and then click on here, and you can see that that color changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the next layer of my landscape here. So as we know, as the ground lines come closer and closer to us, the color is going to become darker and more vibrant. So I'm going to move this color down this way to make it just a little bit darker than what it was before. And once I have a good color, I'm going to change the size and make it large and make a new ground line. So I'm going to bring this up and down and all the way over, and then I'm going to color in the whole bottom. Okay, and then once I have a good ground line, then I can start to add my cacti here too. Now, as we know, as the ground lines come closer, the details on them will become bigger and bigger. So I'm going to change the size of this, and I don't want it to be the same size as my cacti before. I want it to be just a little bit bigger so that these look like they're a little bit closer. Then using the same color as my ground line, I can add some more details. So I can add this here, and I might not even have as many cacti the closer it gets to me. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good. And it could even overlap with some of the cacti back here. Now I'm going to do one more layer. So again, as it's coming closer to me, it's going to become darker and the colors more vibrant. So I'm going to adjust my color again to make it just a bit darker. I'm going to make this large again and then make my final ground line. I don't want this to look the same as my old one, so maybe I'll even have it come up over that hill and back down. And then color in the whole bottom. Once I have that whole layer done, then I can add my details that are up close. Now, since this layer is the closest to me, I'm going to see the most detail and the most color. And the objects are going to be the largest here. So in all of the other layers here, I kept everything the same color as the ground line. For this layer, I don't mind if you use some color. So I might even use green for my cacti, make this a bit smaller, but since this is really close to me, I can make this pretty large. So maybe these cacti are huge, like this. And maybe I'll have just another one or two. And again, it can overlap with the other one. I think that's a little bit too big, so I'll undo that. Make it a bit smaller so I can actually see the arm. There we go. And maybe do another one, perhaps right here. Now this ground line, because it's so close to me, is going to be more detailed also. So I could go crazy with this a little bit and add other details that I wouldn't normally see. So I might even make my color a little bit lighter, change my tool from this really hard brush to a softer brush, and then make it look like it's a little bit lighter on one side. So I could even make this a little bit smaller here. And if it goes over, that's okay. I can just go over that again. And then do this on one side. This is just going to give it the illusion that it is curved a little bit more. I could do the same thing with a darker color. So if I wanted to make it even more realistic, I might make my color a darker green. Make this smaller, and then go around the opposite side and make it just a little bit darker like this. Now, since this layer again is closest to me, I can go ahead and add other details too, like maybe thorns or flowers to it. So I could make my size really small, go back to my hard brush, make the color dark, and maybe add little spikes. Although I don't think I would use black. I think I might use a gray. There we go. It's not quite as harsh. So I could add details like this. I could also, again, add flowers on top if I wanted to. This is the layer where we are really going to see a lot of detail. So I could add these, like I said, I could maybe get a really bright color and add a flower on top. Okay, I could also make the sand look a little bit more realistic. So if I choose the same color as here, make it a little bit darker, make this large. I could add this to the sand to make it look like it has texture. So you can really have fun with the layer that's closest to you and add as much detail as you want. Just remember, whenever you finish with a project, you want to come back up to this top right corner where there's that little blue arrow that points to a blue line and save your image. You never want to lose all of your hard work. So go ahead and have fun with that layer.